The god of death towered over me, his face twisted in a macabre smile. Taking a momentary break in order to regain my breath, I reflected how it required an absolute narcissist of a person to call themselves the god of anything. I quickly stood up, racking my brain to think of a way to subdue him. Stun has failed already. Bondage didn't fare too well either. Sleep won't work on the necromancer. Also, my team was still on the lower ramparts fighting his undead creations. They won't be here for a while. Well then. I quickly conjure up a spell. Submit to my will, I thunder. The spell hits the god of death. The failure of my previous spells had made him complacent. For a few moments, he stops in his tracks as a fierce battle takes place between his will and my spell. Then my spell snaps. No matter. Now that I know submit works, all I need to do is... A sharp pain. I turn to find my right hand sliced off at the wrists. My ring, the only one I would ever wear, floats off towards the necromancer. The necromancer jeers. What will you do now, Trox? I have unarmed you, both literally and figuratively. I guess he expected me to cry. Great was his confusion when I started smirking, then guffawing, then roaring with laughter. Eventually I stopped laughing. I needed a moment to fix my mangled hand. Confusion from the necromancer. No known art lets one regrow their hand without potions and alchemy. I take a step towards the mage. You absolute dimwit. Do you not know how to remove a magical artifact without assessing it first? The god of death is clearly perturbed. He hurriedly conjures another spell. I easily block it. More confusion. I guess this necromancer hasn't come across anyone who can block his necromancy. I speak softly. Trox is my nickname. My real name, almost arcane, is Atrox Metis. Ring a bell? The necromancer goes wide-eyed in fear as he recognizes that name. I give him a moment to process. Just a moment. Then I boil his blood inside out, taking great care to keep him alive during the process. Once he goes catatonic from the pain, then, and only then, I permit him to die. Then I bring him back. You see, there is a reason I do not do necromancy anymore. Necromancy is inherently cruel. Every time you bring someone back from the dead, a portion of their soul stays back. In effect, you are fracturing their soul. The more times you bring someone back, the crueler the effect on their souls. It is for this reason that I loathe necromancy, and necromancers, self-included. I bring back the god of death 7 times before my friends catch up with me. By the 5th time, he was begging for death. By the 7th time, he had lost his spirit to even beg. Go, and be my herald, I hiss to his ears. Travel around the world, preaching to all evildoers that Trox is coming for them. Do this well, and I will permit you to die. You will find that you are unable to die, but not impervious to pain. I have also taken your ability to wield magic. The broken shell that used to call itself a god whimpers and crawls away. Maximus, our leader, sighs. I take it he took your ring. I stay silent as I put back on my ring of empathy. I could almost hear Sophia laughing from the afterlife at my expense. Empathy is your true delimiter. It has been a year since the God of Death incident. My team is on the march again, this time against an apostle of a plague god. Vermica the apostle thunders. You will be blessed with the gift of Nergol. Behold the glory of Rot. Say, you won't happen to be the party of Atrox, Trox, will you? I take off my ring and gaze into his soul. That would be correct. Anyways, I have been thinking of taking a vacation. Call it a hiatus. You can call me a lapsed apostle. The apocalypse is indefinitely postponed, bumbles out Vomica. The apostle bows deeply and starts running. You could almost mistake him for an athlete. I paused for a moment before putting my ring back on. You see, Maximus, regardless of how my ring self feels, sometimes the act of cruelty leads to less cruel outcomes in the long term.